episode 63, live and direct. Got a wonderful interview lined up with Nadagi. Oh my god, Taylor's in the building, guys. But, yeah, got an interview with Nadagi later on today. Oh, whoa, what happened to my theme music? There you go. Got a little glitching going on, I blame you. Talking about a few things such as her latest singles, talking about For Peace We Made, Lord Tush, inspirations, things of that nature. What's going on, Russ? Let's get the dog in here, hopefully. Ship that off. Hopefully everybody's having a solid week. It's only Wednesday, and I'm already like slugging with the best of them, with a bunch of like music stuff. Oh, there's the subject of the show right there. Let's go ahead and get this started. Bop. Hope everybody else feels good. I feel good. I took that pre-show nap that I usually take. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep. All right. Crack a lack. Everybody, welcome to episode 63 of Inside the Rapper Studio. Of course, I'm your host, Score F. Swayze, and today we have a very special guest in the building. She's the owner of Lord Tush. She's the eclectic artist herself, songwriter, rapper, singer, jack of all trades.
Yeah.
I don't know the like any other term of like jack of all trades, but yeah, a person that knows a lot of shit. So everybody, please drop hearts, drop likes, drop comments for the one, the only Nadagi. How's it going, Nadagi?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Can't complain. Got another day on this planet. Make some things happen, or I could just not make things happen. I mean, that's a beautiful gift of options.
Yeah.
So, with every episode of Inside the Rapper Studio, there's the origin story told from the bottom of the screen. So, could you tell us all how you got started musically as the artist known as Nadagi?
Okay, yeah. Full disclosure, I wanted to do music because of a Goofy movie. Um,
That's a great start. That's a great start.
from there, I just, I don't know. I learned the process of songwriting. I grew up on country music, so that's where I get my songwriting perspective from. From there, I got into like indie rock. I got into R&B, then pop, and then hip hop was the last thing that I got into. But it's the genre that spoke to me the most because everybody looks like you, and at the same time they're telling you stories that you didn't even really know existed. Like, because I grew up in DC PG area, but I lived in Baltimore the longest. But just hip hop was just its own world and its own discussion, and I really wanted to be a part of it. So yeah, I guess you could say like 10 years ago I started doing it like professionally. And then yeah, so like I picked up the ukulele, so I rap, sing, play the ukulele. I produce like 80% of my own music. Um and yeah, man, that's just me. And I'm the geek.
It's all good. We all love it. The one thing I really wanted to talk about when it came to like your origin story, I picked up on country, and as a man of many like I guess genres in the pocket, country is the one that's less talked about. I want to talk about those I guess inspirational roots. Who did you listen to country wise?
So I'm Nigerian, right? And Nandigi is my middle name. So when my parents first came to America, the music that was similar to like worship music they heard back home was country music, and more specifically Randy Travis. So I grew up on Randy Travis. I grew up on Dolly Parton, Alan Jackson, Johnny Cash. Funny story. Earlier this year we went to Nashville, and at the Opry they do these songwriting shows where each artist comes and perform for like 5 to 10 minutes, and it costs like $100 and something to just get in and watch everybody. So we only cared to see Alan Jackson, so we all paid $100. We saw Alan Jackson and then we left.
Undo. That's a lot of love.
Yeah, it was incredible seeing them live. But yeah, those were the kind of artists that I grew up on. Reba, Martina McBride, even Toby Keith, and Tim McGraw. So like all the 90s like big artists is like who I grew up listening to.
Gotcha. Do you feel as though any of that country influence still shines out within the rap music that you make?
Oh yeah, absolutely, especially my choruses. That's where I literally learned to like create like the right kind of chorus where the chorus is supposed to drive the song. So it goes, you have your verse and then you have the chorus. And the chorus is supposed to take that verse to the second verse. And then the chorus take the second verse to the third verse. And that's where I learned that process from. So like with hip hop, like I do whatever I want in my verses, but because like you can just, you can speak more freely, right? You can have like Lupe is one of my favorite rappers, even though I tried to kill him once. We'll talk about that later. But like when his verses, he's always very intricate and he's telling like a story within the story, like buried deep down. So you're like searching for what he's talking about. It's more, I don't want to say it's clever, but it's more, I guess it's more clever than, country music when it comes to like their writing because they're more direct. But yeah, it shines through like definitely in my choruses because I feel like my songs kind of have like this really big pop like country essence to it, but at the same time it still has like that the hip hop roots to it.
Man, the eclecticness of I want to first of all, how do you pronounce it? Because I feel like I've been pronouncing it wrong since I've ever met you.
My name?
Yes.
Oh, so it's Nandagi, so it's like non-bread. So Nandagi, like a karate uniform.
Nagi?
Yeah, perfect.
Nagi. All right.
Yeah.
Because I was actually nervous about that ever since I booked the interview. Like, I pray to God I don't mispronounce this like off by this entire interview.
No, it's perfect because that's how it's written. But like so I'm Nigerian, so it's like Nupe language. So it's kind of different than Yoruba or Hausa. So it's not like straightforward in the spelling, but it works, I guess.
It does work. Now I know how to pronounce it.
People just call me non-bread, to be honest.
I try not to. Sometimes that just seems so informal, and I got tight ass about it. Yeah. But the first song I wanted to talk to you about within this interview is actually the first song that I've seen on what is it? I guess Tidal. I didn't want to say streaming services, but yeah, first song on streaming services, which is "I'll Be All Right." Could you tell us the origin of how this song was made and pretty much like the thought process of making this?
So I wanted to create a song that my grandmother could dance to. So I try to like incorporate like Naija music elements to it. So yeah, I produced the song as well. And I just wrote it from the perspective of like Nigerian parents, Nigerian family. They always want to pray for you. They always want to pray for you. That's all they want to do, pray for you. No matter what you're doing, or if you're doing really bad, like you're doing things, they still want to pray for you. I'm like, hey, cool. Like I'll take the Lord's blessing. But I wanted it to like kind of let her know like what I've been experiencing, growing up in America, and like because I don't fully speak Nupe, and my grandma doesn't fully speak English. So like outside of like the greetings, we're like, "K," like we don't know, like we don't know what to say to each other. So I was like, all right, bet. Let me just like music, it transcends languages. So let me just do it that way. And apparently she really liked it, so that was cool.
That's good. I'm actually glad that because as an artist, especially as a rapper, I think the last thing I wanted my grandmother to do with my music is listen to it, because it's just straight cursing and saying things and promoting things that she is completely not for. I guess with the perspective that you're in, how does it feel to even like, I guess, have I don't want to say family friendly music, but like how does it feel to have, I guess, universal music where though everybody can listen to in regards to like being a hip hop artist?
I think it's by accident. I think it's by accident. I think once I started taking songwriting more seriously, that's what came out. Before, my music wasn't really like that welcoming outside of a chorus. It was like I was going the Lupe route. Like at one point, my entire existence as an artist was just to out rap Lupe. But then I got tired of that.
Dang.
And then I was like, let me just do what feels natural. So yeah, it's my default. Like I'm trying to like create more songs where it's like specialized to like specific audiences. But I don't want to force something if it doesn't work. But yeah.
Gotcha. And you say you also produce this as well, right?
Yeah.
What do you produce on in terms
Logic?
Of like, Logic?
Yeah.
That's the first one though. Everybody's it's really like gang wars when it comes to production. It's either you repping FL or and like it's just everybody else kind of gets lost in the mix. So how is it working with Logic?
It's to me it's super easy just because I'm used to Mac applications, right? So I'm used to Final Cut. I'm used to I don't even know what else, GarageBand. So it wasn't that big of a leap using Logic, and I think it's a little. I haven't really used Fruity Loops. My DJ Sean J tried to get me into Ableton. Like I can use Ableton to do like live shows when I need to do looping and stuff. But like when I look at it and try to create something, I don't know where I am. But yeah, Logic is a little more user friendly to me. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's an interesting take. I feel like when it comes to like either DAWs that people talk about, whether it's Logic, Reason, Machine, Ableton, FL, like a lot of the times it comes to just being user friendly. In my opinion, a person that's used Ableton and FL, I will personally say that FL is definitely user friendly just because like all the plugins that they use pretty much are at your hand and like they're really easy to use. Do you feel as though with Logic that it could be a little overwhelming to use? I've never heard a producer like really talk about Logic in terms of production, whether good or bad. So for you, do you feel as though like it's not just easy to use, but there's like no complications whenever you have to like make beats?
Yeah, I don't know if it's just because I built a habit with using it, but like I don't know, the way it looks to me, it fits like a blank canvas, right? So like
Right.
so all I gotta do is hit record and hum some melodies, add my MIDI keyboard to it, play the keys, quantize it, add some drums. Sometimes I just copy and paste drums. But I don't know. It feels like I'm working in a Word document when I use Logic. Yeah.
I get it. Well, for the folks that just walking in that didn't hear the song that was playing, was "I'll Be Alright." One of the singles from our wonderful guest of episode 63 of Inside the Rapper Studio. Okay, let me go back to the pronunciation. I'm not going to mess this up. Nani.
Yep, perfect.
All right. I'm glad I did that. I'm glad because I'd be real nervous about it. As a person that's named Talib that has like an Arabic name that's not English, I'd be so on my own ass about not mispronouncing it. Not pronouncing name. So that's why like I do have that reference being as though few shouts out to Tim for posting that on you. So I can
Uncle Rusty.
Speaking of Russ, let's give a few shout outs to everybody that's in the building. Shouts out to Action Bastard. Shouts out to Monet. Shouts out to who else we got here? Marcy Lily, Smacky Chan, Taser. Pretty solid crowd.
You said Smacky?
Yeah, Smacky Chan's in here. a former guest heating up, so I gotta grab an ice pack. I can hear you. This topic on hand is 4-piece made. Could you tell us what 4-piece?
4-piece we made is it's a multiple hat wearing organization that does things from a place of peace. Yeah. So like we do like, of course I have the music side. So for Peace we make music. For Peace we make a podcast. A shout out to Uncle Russ. For Peace we work out. Like it's just an umbrella or like an extension for me to do other creative things. But yeah, it's everything is just from the place of peace and doing things because it makes you happy and it's fun.
So how did this organization get started in terms of like members, or not just members, but like pretty much roots and purpose of the organization?
So I wanted to, like, when I started releasing music, I wanted to like have a label to release something under, and that was one of the names that stuck with me. You could say it's inspired by Trigun, Love and Peace, and the members just started. It was like first it was me, and then it was DJ Sean J, and now it's like Uncle Russie, and I just try to get like like-minded people to like help build different aspects of it. But yeah, right now we got the music stuff going, and then me and Uncle Russ are going to do a podcast, and then from there, there's some artists in Baltimore that I really like that I'm going to try to convince to let me release their music. Yeah,
I'm assuming you can't spill the beans on who.
Yeah, they don't know that I want this yet. So, and then from there, yeah, just and I'll do all the marketing and stuff, which is my day job, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's how 4-piece we made came about. It was just I needed an entity to just keep all the stuff I want to do under.
Gotcha. So we pretty much discussed how 4-piece we made covers like organization stuff such as like releasing music, and now we're talking content such as podcasts. And I'm pretty sure the last thing you want to do with Uncle Russie is a podcast, because he is going to go a mile a minute, and I'm actually excited for that. How is it working with Uncle Russie?
Man, I love that guy, man. Like we met before and we talked before, but we didn't really become friends till like Manny's or like DDM's He Say She Say music video, and like we just clicked super hard. And he was wearing this like Biggie sweater, and he looked like somebody's uncle. And then we just kept going in. And then we started singing "Low Brother," and then ever since we just been like clicking. But no, we did like a trial run on a podcast to kind of figure out the formatting and everything. And like, man, like he's really good, man. Like he really does his research. He makes me want to like I went in there thinking it was just gonna be like a natural talent, and that was not the case on my end. So like seeing what he brought to the table, I'm like, oh crap, I gotta redo everything I thought I knew about podcasts. So, but no, it's a lot of fun working with him and just hanging out with him. That's my dude.
I feel like it's everybody's dude. He considers himself the Switzerland of the scene, which is very true, because he doesn't really have any like bad grudges or anything like that. It's all peace, love, and harmony with Uncle Russie. How much do you learn from hanging with Uncle Russie?
I learned to get out of my shell more. Like I'm an introvert, and that's good and bad. It's terrible for music, but it's good for me. But yeah, he helps me get out of my shell and like talk more. I don't really talk that much.
That's definitely on key for Russie. Quick little story about how me and Russie operate. Essentially, he is my fake manager. Whereas though if somebody needs to be talked to or introduced to, like we were, he pretty much puts you right in that hole. Like, hey, have you met him? Yeah, this is him. This is her. And like puts you right in that space. Whereas though you do like a very awkward, like 30 to 60-second conversation with the person that you just been stuck with, and then you just get y'all IGs, and out of nowhere y'all just start working together for some reason. But that's the magic of Uncle Russie. Where he pretty much puts you in positions where you need to be to like excel, not just excel musically, but excel personally. As a person that's an introvert, my goddamn self, I would definitely say like he has put me outside of my shell. Whereas though, like, of course, I would just be in the shadows, working amongst myself or working amongst my crew. But Uncle Rusty actually puts me in positions whereas though I can work elsewhere outside of like, you know what I'm saying, what I usually do, which expands the brand in itself. So huge shouts out to Uncle Rusty. Huge shouts out to Rusty gets a clap. Rusty always gets a clap. That like it's no conversation. But yeah, huge shouts out to Rusty and everything that he does for everyone. Next song I wanted to talk to you about was What in the World? Could you tell us how this song came about conceptually for you while creating this?
I have no idea, man. I have no idea. Like literally, what in the world did I create? I have no idea. I produced this one too. I guess I just created the beat and I was like, let me just throw some stuff on it, and then the song stuck with me. Like after, like I try to sit with a song for a little bit to see if it still makes me feel the way it made me feel the first time I created it. And if it passes that threshold and I feel like releasing music, you know, I put it out. But the thing I love most about the song is actually the music video that I shot for it. I ordered maybe 30 puppets off of Amazon. And we shot a music video with puppets. And we had one of the puppets be a squeegee boy.
Please tell me you have this.
Huh? What'd you say?
Please tell me you have a link to this.
Yeah. It's on my. It's if you Google Nandagi, what in the world? Not Google, but go to YouTube, Nandagi, what in the world? It'll pop up.
Oh man, I really would. See, this is what I talk about when people say like, "Oh man, Scorsese does his homework. He knows what art." I didn't know any of this shit right here. If I knew this, I would have talked about it. That would have been in the subject. That would have been in the notes. But it's not in the notes. So you're gonna have to explain this video to me.
Yeah. So I decided to create a puppet world. I can't tell you why. Actually, no. I don't know if you used to. Do you used to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV show?
I was forced to by my older brother, yes.
I like your older brother. So they had a spinoff for a TV show called Angel. And in the TV show Angel, one episode they all got turned into puppets. And like, you know, that's one of my favorite episodes because the puppets were just, they were evil. Huh?
I remember that episode. Wow.
Yeah, it was like Smile Town. You can dream and be anybody, but self-esteem is how you get it done. No, but but no, I was like, I want my own, like, you know, episode. So that's what I did with the video. So like some random dude, I ended up being friends. He ended up being my barber. His name is Sam. He was walking through while we were shooting and he was like, what are you guys doing? I was like, hey, you want a puppet? And then like, he just started puppet.
Perfect first question to ask somebody, by the way.
But yeah, we shot it. We shot it on North Avenue going towards Bel Air. There was like this empty row house space. So we made houses out of cardboard. So we made an ice cream truck out of cardboard. And, you know, we made a puppet community. It was like, what in the world did we just do?
That sounds bro. I'm not going to lie. I need the applause. Just off of the creativity to create a video with puppets and just like create the world that's around you, but make it somewhat softer. If you know, whereas though like you don't have these harsh images that's like being portrayed on the media like constantly. It's legitimate puppets. You know what I mean? Whereas though like you would think like in the origins of Sesame Street, whereas though you have like these, I guess, grungy areas where as though there's like a lot of like crime, there's like a lot of like infestation and corruption within local government. Where in Sesame Street, all you gotta do is just throw puppets on, and you couldn't tell that it's legit 1970s Harlem. Yeah. And in this sense, whereas though in this video, you're pretty much doing the same thing with present day Baltimore. So just off the creativity, I gotta give you kudos.
Thank you. And after we finished shooting, I returned all the puppets. Yeah.
I wish I had the booing sound. I really need the booing sound at this point. Like, oh man. I actually will want to see one. If you have like any puppets like archived throughout this interview, just throw me a puppet, and that's content right there. Just throw me a puppet. I would kill for the puppet.
Hey, I see if we have any left over that I forgot to return.
Please do. But yeah, if you missed the song that just recently playing, it was "What in the World," one of the latest singles from our wonderful guest of episode 63 of Inside the Rapper Studio, Nandini. Did I pronounce it right?
Yep. You're on it.
I'm super paranoid about this. I'm gonna be doing this all show. Don't worry. Give a few shouts out to everybody that's in here. Big Turf in the building. Turfland's in here. We got Ricky Jacobs in here. We got Finagle Baby. Mo 215. Def Bangers in the building. Who else we got? Baltimore Griot. We got a few folks in here. I love it. It's a nice little crowd. Beautiful. All these black folk in my life. I love it. I'm not going to do the Umar thing and just tell people to go away if they're white. You can watch on. That's you, dog. All right. Next thing I wanted to talk to you about, which I'm really excited to talk to you about because I've seen the entire, I guess, success of it and how well it's turned out, is Lord Tush. Could you tell the audience how Lord Tush came to be what it is and the success of it?
So Lord Tush is my bamboo toilet paper company. It started out as a way to introduce people who look like me into more sustainable household options. So bamboo itself is better for the environment. It's better for your septic tank. It's better for your butt. And overall, it's it's better for the environment. And I was sitting on the idea for maybe like a year before we really like launched it. I don't want to say we accidentally launched it, but we weren't planning on launching it until later this year. But then Corona happened, and we're sitting on like all these toilet paper, and I was like, I don't feel right selling it. So I came up with the idea of like just giving it out for free to like people who are like in need of it, because either they lost their job, like a lot of my musician friends lost gigs, they lost like their income, and I'm like, people don't understand, like sometimes even buying toilet paper is a hard thing to do. So we quickly built a website. We created a form where people can give us their information, where they live. We hopped in our cars and we just drove around, and we gave out like 2,000 rolls of toilet paper. Then people kept saying, he's like, yeah, we want to support, and also we don't want to go to the grocery store. Is there anything that you could do for us? So we put like I don't know the exact number, but we put some aside just for people to buy them. And that helped us, pay people who wanted to, it helped pay people to go deliver free toilet paper. So we kind of made a profit, but what I realized with Lord Tush is that I don't think, and this might be, this might be the best business sense, but I believe people over profit. So I think Little Tush exists to just help people. And even though we gave out free toilet paper just because of Corona, we're going to keep doing it, because in the process, we learned that it's really hard for people just to buy simple things. So we're going to launch later in August, like get our stock back, because we were completely wiped out. And, we're going to throw back up our form so people can fill out if they need some toilet paper. But yeah, the success it's been crazy. I didn't think anybody would care.
What? Of course everybody would care.
I didn't think anybody would care. Like, it just felt, what we were doing, we just felt second nature. And then like all these news outlets started to reach out to us, and then people started sharing it and posting it. And a lot of people didn't think we were for real. So every time we would drop it off, we'll send out an email. It was like, hey, can you just tag us on Instagram so people know, this is for real. And it just kept building and building. Soon we're going to do pre-orders. So people want to order it, and people can still donate later this month when the site relaunches, so that we can help cover the cost to actually deliver free toilet paper. But even if we don't get any donations for it, we're still going to do it because people over profit.
Absolutely. We love to see it.
Oh, yeah. Wipe on, player.
There was also, throughout the giveaways that you were doing with the toilet paper via Lord Tush, that you guys were featured on the news, correct?
Yeah, we were, it was a WBAL. Yeah, it was pretty cool. They didn't cut out a lot of my trolling, which I loved. So like, yeah, we explained what Lord Tush is, and Laurel is just little with a Baltimore accent. So we kind of wanted to keep it in like related to the city that we live in, that we love. And then our slogan is "Wipe on, player, wipe on." So I got to say that on TV. That was kind of interesting.
Who interviewed you for the?
I don't remember her name. And I don't know. I mean, she was a Black woman, but I don't remember her name.
Was it Lisa? Like Lisa Salters or something like that?
No.
Or was it Kai?
Kai, yeah, it was Kai. It was definitely Kai. She was awesome. Like we were out delivering, and she randomly called us, and then the address on our website is just for our PO box, not like our warehouse. And she was like, "Hey, we're at the address on the website," and I was like, "Oh, that's a PO box." And then like she met us in the neighborhood where we were dropping off package at, and like they just used that footage for it, and that gave us a nice little boost because more people understood what we were trying to do, so they're able to donate, and we were able to like, because our goal was just 1,000, and then the news happened, and then we said, hey, you guys want to try help donating, so more people donated. We were able to do another 1,000, which was incredible. But yeah, it was cool. And we have another interview coming up with WJZ sometime in this month.
Oh, big media! Big media! Okay.
Yeah, just trying to keep the momentum going and just help out. And then we're going to branch out into different products. I don't want to say anything yet in case it doesn't get here in time. We're working on other products related to bathroom. But yeah.
Gotcha. We love to see it, man. I love it. How does it feel to have a company that gives back to the community, that looks just like you and pretty much sets its roots within just straight up giving back and having that sense of camaraderie amongst the community?
I think it feels good. Like the way that I grew up, we grew up poor, and like I've been homeless a couple of times. So like, I understand what like help could mean to someone. And it's even more special because like you said, like the community looks like me. I look like the community, and like hopefully, people my age or younger or even older see that what's possible, and then kind of incorporate it in their business or their daily lives. I think we need to start relying on each other more than we are now in order to really kind of like build an important future. Right now, everybody's like for themselves. And I think, and you can see what For Yourself is currently doing to the world. So, but yeah, I think it feels good. It feels really good. It makes me want to keep going. Because like I said, it's not like how we're running things isn't the most profitable way, but I want it to exist to help. So
good. It actually feels good to hear like somebody that, one, owns a business, two, isn't not necessarily like super hard on the business side, but super hard on the fact that it's people behind the business, and to show that like there's some type of compassion to show for people that put money within your corporation or put money within your business. So huge shouts out, huge kudos to you for doing what you need to do for this community, seeing the problems that arises from it, and actually coming up with solutions.
Yeah,
and actually solving these things within the community. So next song I wanted to discuss with you is a single that you dropped this year called Ain't Much Been Going On. So could you tell us how this song came about?
So it's I used to do a bunch of ukulele videos on my Instagram where I'll just like come up with some chords and just like, freestyle it, or just write a quick verse and just put it on my Instagram. And this was one of the songs that started off like that. And I was like, I really like this loop, so I decided to build it out. Like this is another song that I produced. Um, yeah, build it out, and I try to shape the song around the chorus that I had. And but yeah, it was the song is just it's like one of those kind of letters that you're sending to someone, letting them know what's up. Like, I'm saying, like, ain't much been going on. Like, I'm not doing anything that I should be doing. Life is currently passing me by. Before I know it, I'm going to be old. I have gray hair, but I'm gonna have mad gray hair, and I'm going to look back and be like, damn, I should have did something. So that was kind of like the meaning for the song, but it all started from me just playing the ukulele on Instagram, rapping.
Did you have anybody in particular that you were talking to in this song?
Well, the first verse, I made it about my little brother, from another mother, like one of my childhood friends. He has a lot on his plate. One of the things that keeps him going and keeps him sane is playing Pokemon Go. And so like the first verse, when I'm mentioning Pokemon, that's just kind of about like his life, what he's been going through. Second verse kind of like expands on the idea of what other people can possibly be going through as well. And then the third verse is just me rappity rapping.
Gotcha. Pretty much outright Lupe.
Yeah. You
Gotcha.
gotta sprinkle it in every once in a while.
Of course you do. I actually wanted to also talk about the production within the song, whereas though we talked about like how you use Logic a lot and the technicalities of Logic, but you also use live instrumentation too. So that even adds more into your production catalog. So how is it using live instrumentation and DAW at the same time?
Um, I hate doing a live instrument into DAW because sometimes I can't get the click track right. I can't get the tempo of playing. So that kind of like gets me frustrated. But the thing I love about Logic, and I'm sure other DAWs do this, I'm able to do like this thing called Flex, and it'll show me the wave file, and I get to move it around to kind of place like my strumming or my hits or the notes on the click, so that it sounds better. And that's one thing I really like about Logic, because it's so easy for me to do that. But yeah, it's fun, and like you said, it adds another dynamic to the music. So like I try to incorporate a ukulele in all my songs if it works. So far it has been working. So even if it's not like I think it was in What in the World, it could have been something simple or like a background sound. But yeah, but for Logic and my ukulele, like they go hand in hand.
Gotcha. So for the ones that's just joining us, the song that was recently just playing was called "Ain't Much Been Going On," one of the latest singles from our wonderful guest of episode 63 of Inside the Rapper Studio, Nandi. Said it right?
Yeah, perfect.
Woo. I'm just skating on thin ice whenever I say that name. I really do. It's like I don't like messing up names. I really don't. So who else we got in here? We got Benny Harden in here, former guest of the show, Jay Swan, who's going to be. Who else we got in here? Of course, Ricky Jacobs, Turfland, all that stuff. Okay, last thing I wanted to talk to you next for you.
What is next for me? Musically, it's I think I finally understand what kind of artist that I am, as far as like my releases go. And like actually like working within the industry, it kind of like changes my like perspective on what kind of artist I am compared to what I thought I had to be. So like what's next for me is just to release music that feels good. I don't think I'm going to release like an EP or an album right now. I think I don't have the audience that I feel like I should have right now. Really, oddly enough, I'm really big in like Japan and France.
Talk to him, big flex.
like I know my Spotify streams don't say nothing, but my Apple Music is insane.
Talk to him. That's what I'm talking about.
It is it is insane. But I guess like they relate to it more. I mean, the music America makes outside of one of my favorite current artists, St. John, it all has the same kind of feel. So I guess, you know, other countries are, I don't want to say late, but they stay with music longer, stay with sounds longer. So like what I put out fits their ears more than it fits the ears in America. And that's another thing I try to tell artists, like on the marketing side, like don't go where you think your music is welcome. Go to where your music is actually welcome. And it's overseas for me. But yeah, I'll just be releasing songs. I mean, performing it's not going to happen till like 2021. So right now it gives me time to just continue to experiment, like work with different producers, just put stuff out there or keep creating myself. But yeah, I'm just going to do a bunch of singles. I guess you can call it the Russ way, where you just put it out to put it out. But like I have no set schedule. I'll release it if it feels good. But yeah, that's what it means.
All right. So one of the songs that you most recently dropped, see, we already got a request from Rusty, which is "Cloud Near the Sun," a very interesting song, in my opinion. Could you tell us pretty much the space that you were in creating a song like this?
All right, so this song is pretty old. This song is from, I wrote this in maybe 2012. 2012 or 2014. I don't remember. It was around the time I went to Japan for the first time, so I think it's like 2012. And my one of my Canadian friends sent me this beat from some other beats, and like this one just it stuck with me because it sounded like a whale crying in the ocean.
Okay.
That's the kind of feel I got from it. And so like I kind of like tried to write about that, like write about someone sitting with their feet in the ocean, just crying and being overpowered by sound, by the waves. So like you're in like this isolated place where like you can finally let go of all that you've been feeling and be masked by giant waves. But that was the idea and the feeling for the song. And then for the actual writing the song, I just tried to capture that and talk about I think it's a girl in the story, which is probably me, could be me. It feels like it's me half the time, depending on when I perform it. But I try to write about this girl and that same feeling and then extend it to like the feeling of loss. And that's when it goes into like the bridge of the song where it's talking about you're not a hole in this world, you're not the pain someone caused you, like you matter. But yeah, that's where all that came from. Yeah, it's one of my favorite songs to perform. Like even after all these years performing it, it gives me so much energy and so much hope and drive, and like I can play that song, like I can perform that song on loop for 24 hours. Like that's how much it like feeds me. But yeah, it's one of my favorite songs too.
So I actually wanted to talk more about this Japan trip that inspired this song. What? Well, I guess why were you in Japan is kind of a blatant ass question, but yeah, why were you in Japan?
Me and my sister, we just went to go, and then I ended up getting a show there. So like, I got to perform there. Yeah, it was cool. I got to perform there. Got to pay. They paid me to perform. We were in
Okay.
Tokyo, huh?
You're getting paid to perform in Japan. You love to see it, yo, man.
Excuse me, it was fun. Like me and my sister, we left the U.S. We ended up in China, Beijing for a layover. We got into Japan, and like we hadn't seen any other black people, and like most of our trip, we didn't really see any black people, and we were like, this is cool, maybe they're just not here, maybe we're not where they are. And then I get to the show, and we finally met black people, and like we're hanging out and we're having fun. But it's like our last day there, and I'm like, why couldn't we have met you guys like a week ago? But yeah, just being in Japan and like experience everything, seeing the giant Gundam, riding the giant Ferris wheel, doing some crazy stuff. We went back last year in April, but this time we did like go-kart. We were riding around in Shibuya in go-karts, just checking shit out, and like onesies. I forget what character I was dressed as. It could have been Mario. I don't remember, but like we were riding around. Like I tell people, like I would live in Japan in a heartbeat. Like absolutely. Like I'm already studying to pass the proficient language test. What is it? JPTL N5 or something, like the beginner's course. But I would live there in a heartbeat. But just being in Japan and experiencing you being invisible, like I never felt invisible before until I was in Japan, which is cool. Like they see you, and they're like, you'll see their facial expressions, but they don't fuck with you. They don't bug you. Like you just go about your business. Like you're one of them. I like that feeling. I wish I got that here, but that's something I got there. But I forgot what we were talking about. But yeah, I guess it inspired the song.
I mean, that's easy. First of all, huge shouts out to guys. Shout out to Japan. It was a matter of time till we had to shout out to Japan in this interview. Yeah, what an experience. I feel like,
hey, what up, Richard?
At a time like this where things are like shut down and there's like a lot of travel restrictions and things like that, I feel as though like moments like that are very, very special and very, very near and dear to like my heart, because like a lot of people want to travel and a lot of people want to like go out and see places, and especially as us as like black people, like the black traveler is a story that's not really told that often. So first of all, huge kudos to you for even giving us that story. Huge kudos to you for pretty much giving us a great interview, great content, great whatever the case may be. Just I feel as though like with this interview, it really taught me a lot, not just about you, but within this experience of the black person all around the world, not just like, you know what I'm saying, in Baltimore. Because I do have that focus of Baltimore within the interviews, but like to have that global experience, that global view, that global scale, it puts it at a different perspective. So I do have to thank you a lot for that, Nanagi. Thank you so much for this interview. Coming up next on Inside the Rapper Studio tomorrow, we're going to have Jay Swan on. We're going to be talking about his latest project, Houseplants. I'm going to be doing the giveaway password later on for a new robe for you guys. It's a giveaway. Yes, it's free. Don't ask me for no goddamn money, and a hat. So, do you have any last words, any last promotions, any last propaganda for the people?
I want to shout out Shorty. It makes me super upset that he doesn't get any of his props or roses. I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything yet, but he gets his platinum plaque this week. And I just want someone to tell me another artist or another rapper in Baltimore with a platinum plaque. I just want someone to tell me. I just want him to, like, we worked really hard to make that happen. And I just want people to understand, like, if it was easy, everybody would do it. So if anybody asks you who from Baltimore, just mention Shorty. He's doing a phenomenal job, and I'm excited to have helped. But yeah, shout out Shorty, shout out Baltimore, shout out you, shout out everybody who's listening. Thanks for hanging.
Absolutely.
I got a mug.
So the password for today, we had 2 passwords early on this week. I'm not going to tell you what the passwords are. Go back in the goddamn videos and see it for yourself. The password for today is lavender. 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 So that's password number 3. We got 2 more coming tomorrow on Friday. Give me all 5 passwords. You get a robe and a hat. But you got to be first. You got to be first to do it. It's first come, first serve. So, from your host, Score F. Swayze, I'd like to thank all of you guys for coming in, whether it be 1 second, 1 minute, or your entire show. Huge shouts out to Instagram for not screwing up. I was expecting to screw up each and every time, and you guys have not disappointed me yet. So I really appreciate it. Huge shouts out to Uncle Rusty just for being the guy that's always in the live.
Uncle Russ.
Yeah, like Russ is a huge component of what I do, period. Not just, you know what I'm saying, in the studio, not just inside the rapper studio, just in general, like his spirit. And I feel like we need to celebrate that. Saturday is his birthday. I feel like we really need to celebrate Russ this Saturday and not this birthday of this corrupt nation. So 4th of July is now Uncle Rusty Day. So
Uncle Russ Day.
I would want everybody to come in, chip in, give your thanks, give your appreciations to the man we all know and admire. So, from your host, Score F. Swayze, and our wonderful guest of episode 63, Nandagi.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
I said it right?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, cool. So, from both of us, I would like to say to everyone, thank you very much. And as always, wash your hands, stay in the house.
Domo, domo, domo.
Appreciate it.